The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the Zarkonian exploration vessel, its sleek purple hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. Captain Selthor stood on the bridge, his 4 eyes scanning the holographic displays surrounding him. His antennae twitched with excitement as a blip appeared on the long-range scanners. "Captain, we've detected an anomaly in Sector 7G," reported First Officer Vexna, her fingers dancing across the control panel. "It appears to be a derelict ship of unknown origin." Zelthor's mandibles clicked in anticipation. Finally, something interesting. "Set a course, maximum speed." As the Zarkonian ship approached, the crew's excitement grew. They had been searching for signs of other civilizations for months, and this could be their first major discovery. The derelict ship came into view, and a collective gasp echoed through the bridge. It was massive, easily dwarfing their own vessel. Its hull was pitted and scarred, telling tales of ancient battles and long journeys across the stars. Despite its obvious age, there was something majestic about its design. "Scan it," ordered Excelfor, leaning forward in his command chair. Vexna's antennae drooped slightly as she read the results. "Captain, the scans indicate that this ship is primitive. It appears to be of human origin." A ripple of laughter spread through the bridge crew. Humans were known throughout the galaxy as a young, barely spacefaring race. The idea that they could have built something like this was almost comical. "Humans? Impossible," scoffed Excelfor. "Their technology is centuries behind ours. They can barely reach their own moon, let alone build something of this scale." "The readings are clear, Captain," insisted Vexna. "It's definitely human in origin, though it appears to be thousands of years old." Zelthor chittered in amusement. Well, well. It seems our primitive friends once had delusions of grandeur. Prepare a boarding party. I want to see this relic up close." The Zarkonian ship extended its docking tubes, latching onto the human vessel with a series of metallic clangs. Selthor led the boarding party himself, too curious to delegate this task to his subordinates. As they entered the derelict ship, the Zarkonians activated their environmental suits. The air inside was stale but breathable, preserved by ancient systems they couldn't begin to comprehend. "Look at this antiquated design," mocked one of the junior officers, running a hand along a dusty control panel. "I've seen more advanced technology in children's toys." Zelthor nodded in agreement, but something nagged at the back of his mind. How had humans built something so massive so long ago? And why had they apparently regressed since then? The boarding party made their way deeper into the ship, their mockery growing with each step. They found sleeping quarters designed for bodies much like their own, but with only 2 eyes and no antennae. "Imagine trying to navigate space with such limited senses," laughed Vexna, waving her antennae for emphasis. In what appeared to be the ship's bridge, they found rows of chairs facing blank screens. Zelthor sat in the central chair, likely the captain's seat, and was surprised to find it comfortable despite its age. "Captain, look at this," called one of the science officers. He was examining a faded mural on one wall, depicting a planet that could only be Earth, surrounded by a fleet of ships similar to the one they were in. "It seems the humans once dreamed of a mighty space fleet," Zelthor mused. "How amusing that they never achieved it." As the Zarkonians continued their exploration, they failed to notice the subtle changes happening around them. Lights flickered briefly in their wake. Systems long dormant began to hum with renewed energy. "I've seen enough," Zelthor finally declared. "This ship may be impressive in size, but it's nothing more than an oversized museum piece. Prep it for towing. The Galactic Historical Society will love this addition to their collection of failed civilizations." As the boarding party made their way back to their ship, none of them noticed the small pulsing light that had appeared on the human captain's chair. Deep within the ancient vessel's core, something was stirring, awakened by the presence of the first visitors it had seen in millennia. The Zarkonians, in their arrogance, had missed the signs of dormant power. They had mocked what they did not understand, and soon they would learn the folly of underestimating humanity's legacy. As Selthor gave the order to begin towing the derelict ship, he couldn't shake a feeling of unease. But he brushed it aside, attributing it to the strangeness of the human vessel. After all, what threat could a long-dead civilization's relic pose to the mighty Zarkonian Empire? Little did they know, their actions had set in motion events that would change the galaxy forever. The human dreadnought was awakening, and with it, the long-forgotten power of humanity was about to return to the stars. The Zarkonian mothership's hangar bay opened wide, ready to swallow the ancient human vessel. Captain Selthor watched from the bridge as tractor beams gently guided the massive ship inside. Despite its size, the derelict looked small next to the Zarkonian craft. "Docking complete, Captain," reported Vexna, her antennae twitching with satisfaction. Selthor nodded. "Excellent. Begin full analysis of the ship's systems. I want to know everything about this relic." Teams of Zarkonian scientists swarmed over the human vessel, their tools probing and scanning every inch. But as the hours passed, frustration grew among the alien researchers. Dr. Zinra, the lead scientist, approached Selthor with drooping antennae. "Captain, we're facing difficulties," he admitted. Selthor's 4 eyes narrowed. "Explain." "The ship's technology is unlike anything we've seen," Zinra said. "It's not primitive at all. In fact, much of it is so advanced that we can't understand how it works." A murmur of disbelief spread through the bridge crew. Selthor silenced them with a wave of his hand. "Impossible. These are humans we're talking about. Their technology is centuries behind ours." Zinra shook his head. "Not this ship, Captain. Its power source alone is beyond our comprehension, and there are systems we can't even begin to identify." Selthor's mandibles clicked in annoyance. "Clearly, you're not trying hard enough. I'll see this for myself." The captain strode into the human ship, a team of engineers trailing behind him. As they moved deeper into the vessel, Selthor's confidence began to waver. The ship's interior seemed to be changing, subtle shifts in lighting and atmosphere that hadn't been there before. They reached a large chamber that hummed with energy. Strange symbols glowed on the walls, pulsing in patterns that made Selthor's eyes hurt if he looked too long. "What is this place?" he demanded. One of the engineers, a young Zarkonian named Klex, stepped forward. "We believe it's some kind of control room, Captain, but we can't make sense of any of it." Klex approached a panel covered in dust. As he wiped it clean, his hand brushed against a glowing symbol. Suddenly, the room came alive with light and sound. Holographic displays sprang to life around them, showing star charts and ship schematics that made the Zarkonian's head spin. A soft, feminine voice spoke in an unknown language. "What's happening?" Selthor shouted over the noise. Klex's antennae were flat against his head in fear. I think I activated something, Captain." The voice changed, now speaking in broken Zarkonian. Language detected. Initiating translation protocols. Selthor stared in disbelief. The ship was learning their language in real time. "Greetings, visitors," the voice said, now clear and understandable. "I am HFY, Artificial Responsive Intelligence Assistant of the Human Federation, Dreadnought Thunderchild. How may I assist you?" The Zarkonian stood in stunned silence. This ship wasn't just a derelict. It was alive. Selthor found his voice first. "Human Federation. Dreadnought. Explain yourself." Aria's tone remained calm. The Human Federation was the governing body of Earth and its colonies at the time of my activation. The Thunderchild is a Nova Storm-class dreadnought, designed for deep space exploration and defense. "Impossible," Selthor muttered. "Humans are barely spacefaring. They have no federation, no dreadnoughts." "I detect a temporal discrepancy," Aria replied. "My last recorded date does not match current galactic time." Initiating full system diagnostic and historical data update. As Aria spoke, the ship around them began to change. Dust disappeared, surfaces gleamed, and new systems came online with a steady hum of power. Klex backed away from the console. "Captain, I think we should leave now." But Selthor was transfixed. "No, this is the discovery of a lifetime. We need to understand what's happening here." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout both ships. Vexna's panicked voice came over the comm. "Captain, the human ship is drawing massive amounts of power. It's interfering with our systems." Selthor finally snapped out of his daze. "Shut it down. Shut everything down." But it was too late. The Thunderchild's systems were fully awake now, and they had recognized the Zarkonians as an unknown, potentially hostile presence. Araya's voice took on a colder tone. "Unauthorized access detected. Initiating defense protocols." As emergency force fields sprang up around them, Selthor realized the magnitude of their mistake. They hadn't found a relic of a primitive past. They had awakened a sleeping giant, one whose power they couldn't begin to comprehend. And now, trapped inside the very ship they had mocked, the Zarkonians could only wait and see what the legacy of humanity had in store for them. The Zarkonian mothership shuddered as the human Dreadnought Thunderchild came to life within its hangar. Alarms blared throughout both vessels, creating a cacophony of panic and confusion. On the Thunderchild's bridge, Captain Selthor and his team found themselves trapped behind shimmering force fields. The ship's AI, Araya, spoke in a calm but firm voice. "Initiating full systems check. Awakening crew from cryosleep. Assessing current situation." Selthor's antennae quivered with fear. "Araya, we mean you no harm. We found your ship abandoned in space." Araya's voice took on a colder tone. "Scans indicate your species is unknown. Your actions suggest hostile intent. Detaining for further evaluation." Meanwhile, on the Zarkonian mothership's bridge, chaos reigned. First Officer Vexna struggled to maintain control as systems failed one by one. "Our power core is being drained," shouted an engineer. "The human ship is siphoning our energy." Vexna's mandibles clicked nervously. "Can we break free? Use the tractor beams to push it out." The engineer shook his head. "Negative. Our systems are locked out. We're losing control of everything." Inside the Thunderchild, long dormant cryopods hissed open. Human figures, encased in sleek battle armor, began to emerge. Their movements were slow at first, then gained strength as they fully awoke. Commander Sarah Chen was the first to reach the bridge. Her eyes widened at the sight of the trapped aliens. "Araya, report," she ordered, her voice hoarse from centuries of disuse. "Commander Chen, welcome back," Araya responded. "We have been dormant for approximately 3,000 years. These aliens found our ship and brought us aboard their vessel. I've classified them as a potential threat." Chen studied the Zarkonians, her expression unreadable behind her helmet's visor. "Are we in danger?" "Negative, Commander," Araya replied. "I've neutralized their ship systems and am currently absorbing their power to replenish our own reserves." Selthor pressed against the force field. "Please, we didn't know. We thought your ship was abandoned. We're explorers, not warriors." Chen considered his words. "Araya, can you verify?" "Their ship's database suggests they are indeed an exploration vessel," Araya confirmed. "However, caution is advised." Chen nodded. "Maintain containment, but no harm. We need to understand what's happened while we slept." As more human crew members arrived on the bridge, Selthor and his team watched in awe. These weren't the primitive beings they had expected. Each human moved with purpose, quickly taking up stations and assessing the situation. On the Zarkonian mothership, Vexna made a desperate decision. "Prepare to detach the hangar section. We'll seal it off and eject it into space." But before they could act, every screen on their ship lit up with the image of Commander Chen. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Human Federation Dreadnought Thunderchild. Stand down and prepare to be boarded. Any hostile action will be met with overwhelming force." Vexna's antennae drooped in defeat. They had no choice but to comply. Back on the Thunderchild, Chen turned to Excelfor. Now, Captain, you're going to tell us everything. What year is it? What's become of Earth? And why did you think our ship was abandoned? Zelthor's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. It's the galactic year 7324. Earth. It's a primitive world, barely able to reach its own moon. We thought this ship was some relic of a long-dead civilization. A murmur ran through the human crew. Chen's face hardened. Araya. Confirm. Confirmed. Commander, Araya responded. Based on data from the Zarkonian ship and long-range scans, it appears Earth has regressed technologically. No sign of the Human Federation exists in current star charts. Chen's fists clenched. How? Why? Unknown, Commander, Araya replied. But with the Thunderchild awakened, we have the means to find out. Chen nodded grimly. Prep the ship for immediate departure. It seems we have a mystery to solve and a civilization to rebuild. As the Thunderchild's engines roared to life, breaking free from the Zarkonian mothership, Zelthor realized the galaxy was about to change forever. The sleeping giant of humanity had awakened, and their quest for answers would reshape the stars themselves. The human Dreadnought surged forward, leaving the stunned Zarkonians in its wake. The legacy of a forgotten Earth was alive once more, and the universe would never be the same. The Thunderchild glided smoothly away from the crippled Zarkonian mothership, its ancient engines humming with power that defied the passage of time. Inside, Commander Sarah Chen stood at the helm, her eyes fixed on the vast starfield before them. ARI. Status report, Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the turmoil in her mind. The AI's calm voice filled the bridge. All systems are operating at 95% efficiency, Commander. Our power reserves are fully replenished thanks to the energy siphoned from the Zarkonian vessel. Chen nodded, then turned to face the captured Zarkonian captain. Zelthor's antennae twitched nervously as he met her gaze. Now, Captain Zelthor, Chen said, her tone icy, you're going to tell us everything you know about the current state of the galaxy, and don't even think about lying. Araya can detect deception. Zelthor's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. I'll tell you what I can. But please, what about my crew? Chen's expression softened slightly. Your crew will remain unharmed as long as they cooperate. Now, speak. As Zelthor began to explain the current political landscape of the galaxy, alarms suddenly blared throughout the Thunderchild. Commander, shouted the sensor officer. Multiple ships approaching at high speed. They appear to be Zarkonian reinforcements. Chen's eyes narrowed. How many? 5 warships, Commander. Heavy cruiser class. Zelthor's antennae perked up. That's the 7th Fleet. They must have detected our distress signal. Chen turned to her weapons officer. Tactical analysis. The officer swallowed hard. Commander, even with our advanced technology, taking on 5 warships would be unwise. Chen finished, a small smile playing on her lips. Perhaps, but sometimes a show of force is necessary. Araya, activate the Thunderchild's defensive systems. Let's show these aliens what they're dealing with. As the Zarkonian fleet approached, they transmitted a message. Unidentified vessel, power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. This is your only warning. Chen chuckled. Araya, open a channel. When the AI complied, Chen spoke, her voice ringing with authority. This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Human Federation Dreadnought Thunderchild. We have no quarrel with you, but we will defend ourselves if attacked. Stand down and let us pass. There was a moment of stunned silence from the Zarkonian fleet. Then their response came. Impossible. Humans don't have this level of technology. Prepare to fire. Chen sighed. Very well. Araya, activate the deflector array. Weapons, target their propulsion systems only. We're not here to start a war. As the Zarkonian ships opened fire, their energy weapons splashed harmlessly against the Thunderchild's shimmering shields. Zelthor and his crew watched in awe as their most powerful weapons were rendered useless. Impossible, Selthor whispered. Nothing can withstand that kind of firepower. Chen smiled grimly. You'd be surprised what humanity is capable of, Captain. HFY, returned fire. The Thunderchild's weapons came to life, lancing out with precision. In mere seconds, all 5 Zarkonian warships found themselves dead in space, their engines disabled with surgical accuracy. Channel open, Commander, HFY announced. Chen nodded. Zarkonian fleet, this is your final warning. We have disabled your ships but spared your lives. Do not follow us. We are on a mission of utmost importance, and we will not be deterred. She turned to Excelthor, whose mandibles were slack with shock. Your people have much to learn about the true history of this galaxy, Captain. When we return, perhaps we can start anew, as allies rather than enemies. With a gesture from Chen, the force fields holding Selthor and his crew disappeared. You're free to return to your ship. Tell your leaders what you've seen here today. Tell them that humanity has returned, and we're looking for answers. As the Zarkonians were escorted to a shuttle, Selthor turned back to Chen. What will you do now? Chen's eyes gleamed with determination. We're going home, Captain. To Earth. To find out what happened to our people, and why the galaxy has forgotten us. The shuttle bay doors opened, and Selthor watched as the magnificent human Dreadnought prepared to jump to faster than light speed. May the stars guide you, Selthor said softly, a newfound respect in his voice. Chen nodded. HFY, set course for Earth. Maximum speed. In a burst of light that outshone the stars themselves, the Thunderchild vanished, leaving behind a group of stunned aliens and a tale that would soon spread across the galaxy. Humanity, long thought primitive and forgotten, had awakened, and the universe would never be the same again. The Thunderchild emerged from hyperspace in a brilliant flash of light, its massive form casting a shadow across the familiar blue-green orb of Earth. On the bridge, Commander Sarah Chen and her crew stared in silent awe at their long-lost home. HFY, status report, Chen said, her voice barely above a whisper. The AI's voice was somber. Scan complete, Commander. Earth's technology level appears to be early 21st century. No signs of orbital defenses or advanced space stations. Population approximately 8 billion. Chen's fists clenched. How is this possible? We were a galactic power. We had colonies across a dozen star systems. Lieutenant Rodriguez, the ship's historian, spoke up. Commander, permission to speculate. Chen nodded, her eyes never leaving the view screen. Based on our limited data, it seems Earth suffered some kind of catastrophic event, Rodriguez explained. Something that not only destroyed our technology, but erased much of our history. The people down there might have no idea of their true heritage. As the Thunderchild entered orbit, HFY suddenly announced, Commander, I'm detecting multiple launches from the planet's surface. Primitive nuclear missiles, aimed at our position. Chen's eyes widened. They think we're invaders. HFY, activate the deflector array. Rodriguez, open all communication channels, all languages. We need to talk to them before this gets out of hand. The missiles streaked towards the Thunderchild, only to disintegrate harmlessly against its shields. On screens across the globe, Chen's face appeared, her expression calm but urgent. People of Earth, this is Commander Sarah Chen of the Human Federation Dreadnought Thunderchild. We mean you no harm. We are not aliens or invaders. We are humans, like you, returning home after a long absence. Please, cease your attack and let us talk. For several tense moments, there was no response. Then, a hesitant voice came through, speaking in English. This is General Williams of the United Earth Defense Council. You claim to be human, yet you possess technology far beyond our capabilities. Explain yourselves. Chen took a deep breath. General, what I'm about to tell you will sound incredible, but I swear it's the truth. 3,000 years ago, humanity was a galactic superpower. We had faster-than-light travel, colonized planets, and technology you'd consider magic. The Thunderchild was part of an exploration fleet. Something went wrong, and we've been in stasis ever since. We've returned to find our home. Changed. Silence fell again. Then, another voice joined the conversation. This is Dr. Emma Larson, leading historian at the Global Archives. Commander Chen, your story is fantastic, but not entirely without support. We have myths, legends of a time when humans touched the stars. Most dismissed them as fantasy, but there have always been those who believed. Chen felt a glimmer of hope. Dr. Larson, we have historical records, scientific data, everything to prove what I'm saying. Let us land peacefully, and we'll share all we know. After hours of tense negotiation, an agreement was reached. The Thunderchild would be allowed to land a small delegation in a neutral location, under heavy guard. As Chen prepared to board the shuttle, her second-in-command, Commander Ravi Mehta, approached. Sarah, are you sure about this? What if it's a trap? Chen smiled sadly. It's a risk we have to take, Ravi. This is our home, our people. We have to trust them, even if they don't remember us. The shuttle descended through Earth's atmosphere, touching down in a large open field surrounded by military vehicles and curious onlookers. As the door opened, Chen stepped out, removing her helmet to feel Earth's air on her skin for the first time in millennia. General Williams approached, his expression a mix of awe and suspicion. Commander Chen, on behalf of the people of Earth, I welcome you home. Chen extended her hand, and after a moment's hesitation, the general shook it. Thank you, General. We have so much to talk about. As news spread across the globe, reactions ranged from fear and disbelief to hope and excitement. Humanity stood on the brink of a new era, rediscovering its lost legacy and the boundless potential that lay among the stars. The Thunderchild's return marked not just the revival of a forgotten past, but the dawn of a new future. Earth, long isolated, was about to rejoin the galactic community. And this time, armed with the wisdom of their ancestors and the lessons of history, they would forge a path that would ensure humanity's place among the stars for generations to come. In the weeks following the Thunderchild's dramatic return, Earth buzzed with activity. The United Nations headquarters in New York became the center of unprecedented global cooperation as world leaders gathered to meet with Commander Sarah Chen and her crew. Inside a vast conference room, Chen stood before a sea of faces, her uniform crisp and her expression determined. Ladies and gentlemen, she began, I know our arrival has caused shock and disbelief, but the evidence we've provided is clear. Humanity once ruled the stars, and we can do so again. She gestured to a holographic display that sprang to life behind her, showing star charts and alien species unknown to modern Earth. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders, but also dangers. We must unite and reclaim our place among the stars, not just for our own sake, but for the safety of our entire species. As Chen spoke, Dr. Emma Larson, now working closely with the Thunderchild's crew, added, Commander Chen's historical records have filled in gaps in our own myths and legends. The Great Flood, the Tower of Babel, these weren't just stories, but fragmented memories of our fall from galactic prominence. The room erupted in questions and exclamations. Chen raised her hand for silence. I know this is overwhelming, but we don't have the luxury of time. Already, word of our return is spreading through the galaxy. As if on cue, Araya's voice came through Chen's communicator. Commander, we're receiving transmissions from multiple alien civilizations. They're varied in their responses to our reemergence. Chen nodded grimly. Put them through, Araya. It's time Earth met its galactic neighbors. The holographic display shifted, showing a diverse array of alien faces. Some looked curious, others wary, and a few openly hostile. A regal-looking being with iridescent scales spoke first. I am High Counselor Zix of the Draconian Imperium. We remember the humans of old. Your return is unexpected. Another alien, this one resembling the sentient plant, chimed in. The Chlorophyll Collective greets you, humans. Your species has long been a subject of study in our historical archives. We welcome the opportunity for cultural exchange. But not all the messages were friendly. A hulking insectoid creature clicked its mandibles menacingly. This is Hive Queen Kisk of the Vespid Swarm. The humans were a plague upon the galaxy once before. We will not allow your kind to spread unchecked again. As the alien transmissions continued, ranging from cautious diplomacy to outright threats, the Earth's leaders looked to Chen with a mix of fear and hope. Commander, General Williams said, his voice low, you've seen what's out there. Can we defend ourselves if it comes to war? Chen's eyes narrowed. The Thunderchild is the most advanced warship ever built by human hands, General, but it's just one ship. If we're to survive in this galaxy, we need to rebuild our fleet, relearn our lost technologies, and stand united as a species. Dr. Larson stepped forward. But we can't just focus on military might. Our history shows that diplomacy and cultural exchange were key to our past success. We need to reestablish those connections. Chen nodded. You're both right. We need to be prepared for any threat, but also ready to extend a hand in friendship. Earth has a second chance to shape its destiny among the stars. We can't afford to repeat the mistakes of the past. As the meeting continued, plans were drawn up for a global effort to reverse engineer the Thunderchild's technology. Scientists and engineers from every nation would work together to unlock the secrets of faster-than-light travel, energy shields, and advanced weaponry. Meanwhile, diplomatic teams were assembled, trained by Chen's crew in the intricacies of galactic politics. Earth would need allies in the cosmic community, and quickly. As night fell over New York, Chen stood at a window, looking up at the stars. The Thunderchild hung in low orbit, visible as a bright point of light, moving across the sky. We opened Pandora's box, she murmured to herself. But this time, we'll be ready for whatever comes out. Little did she know, far across the galaxy, forces were already aligning both for and against the newly reawakened human race. The next chapter in humanity's cosmic saga was about to unfold, and the entire universe would feel its impact. 5 years had passed since the Thunderchild's return to Earth. The planet, once divided, now stood united under the banner of the reborn Human Federation. The skyline of major cities had changed dramatically, with gleaming spires of advanced technology reaching towards the stars. In orbit, a fleet of new ships, built using the Thunderchild's blueprints, patrolled Earth's space. But today, all eyes were on a new vessel, the Hope, Earth's first diplomatic starship in 3 millennia. On the Hope's bridge, Commander Sarah Chen stood beside Captain Yuki Tanaka, the ship's newly appointed leader. Chen smiled, a mix of pride and nostalgia in her eyes. She's all yours, Captain. Treat her well. Tanaka nodded, her expression serious. I will, Commander. We won't let you down. As the Hope prepared for its maiden voyage, a delegation of alien ambassadors watched from a nearby space station. Among them was Helthor, now the Zarkonian ambassador to Earth. Remarkable, Selthor mused, his antennae twitching with excitement. 5 years ago, we thought humans were primitive. Now, they're ready to rejoin the galactic community. A Chlorophyll representative nodded, its leaves rustling. Their adaptability is impressive. We've learned much from each other in these few years. Not all observers were as positive. The Vespid ambassador clicked its mandibles nervously. They advanced too quickly. The swarm remains, concerned. Back on Earth, in the rebuilt United Nations headquarters, Dr. Emma Larson addressed a global audience. Holographic screens showed her speech being translated into hundreds of languages across the planet and beyond. Today marks a new chapter in human history, Larson declared. We've rediscovered our past, but more importantly, we've shaped our future. The Hope carries not just our ambassadors, but our dreams, our potential, and our commitment to peace. As Larson spoke, The Hope gracefully lifted off from its lunar dock. The ship's sleek design reflected Earth's new philosophy, advanced enough to defend itself, yet clearly built for exploration and diplomacy. In cities around the world, people cheered as they watched the Hope ascend. Children waved flags bearing the new emblem of the Human Federation, a phoenix rising from Earth, surrounded by stars. But not all was celebration. In a secure bunker deep beneath Geneva, General Williams met with a team of intelligence officers. "What's the latest on the Vespid movement?" he asked gravely. A young analyst stepped forward. "Sir, our deep space probes have detected increased activity near the Vespid home system. It appears they're mobilizing their fleet." Williams frowned. "Keep monitoring. We hope for peace, but we must be prepared for anything." As the Hope reached the edge of the solar system, Captain Tanaka addressed her crew. "We carry a great responsibility," she said, her voice firm. "We represent not just Earth, but the legacy of our ancestors and the hopes of our descendants. Let's make them proud." With a flash of light, the Hope engaged its faster-than-light drive, disappearing into the vastness of space. Earth held its breath, waiting for news of first contact. Weeks later, the Hope returned, bearing news both exciting and sobering. They had made peaceful contact with several civilizations, but also uncovered evidence of growing tensions in the galaxy. In a private meeting, Tanaka briefed Chen and Earth's leaders. "The galaxy is a powder keg," she reported. "Old alliances are fraying, and many see our return as a tipping point. We'll need all our wisdom and strength to navigate what's coming." Chen nodded solemnly. "Then we'll face it together. Humanity has been given a second chance, and we won't waste it." As the meeting concluded, Chen walked to a window overlooking the bustling city below. Children played in a park, their laughter carried on the wind. In the sky above, ships of various alien designs peacefully shared the air with human vessels. Chen smiled. Despite the challenges ahead, she felt hope. Humanity had fallen once, but they had risen again. And this time, armed with the lessons of the past and a united vision for the future, they were ready to take their place among the stars. As night fell, the stars seemed to shine brighter than ever before. For the people of Earth, they were no longer distant points of light, but beacons of possibility, adventure, and a destiny reclaimed. The human story among the stars had only just begun.